Hey everyone, welcome back to the M&R Show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Malcolm.
And today we're going to be talking about two different topics, both NBA, little NBA finals prediction later in the show. And then we're going to start with the NBA's conference finals. So Malcolm, what has been your takeaway of the NBA's conference finals?
Hey, listen, I thought it was going to be more exciting, but, in a way, because, my Boston Celtics are in the conference finals, I'm a little excited, Ron. I understand this is different from you since you don't have any team, but I'm gonna stop. I just wanted to play around this morning, but one thing is I really like this as far as what the Celtics and Miami, they both play defense, they're both well coached, so you can see like from game in game out they made adjustments where the other coach will have to make the adjustments the next game or stuff like that because it's been blowouts after blowouts. My thoughts on the Warriors and Dallas series, I said it before. I think that Warriors are going to beat them in 5, 6 if necessary. I didn't really think that the Mavericks had the star power to be able to match against these Warriors team who have the team that's been to the finals before. Basically, their core group of guys has been to the finals. They know what it takes to get there. And I think that you're playing against with Dallas Mavericks, you got Luka and nobody else. I just think it was only so far what Luka can be able to take you. And I don't think he's going to get that over that hump against the Warriors. But let's shift back to the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics series. I think that is a very great series to watch. I think defensively, we've seen some crazy stuff going on, especially with Rob Williams and Bam Adebayo. We see how that matchup is very perfect together. We see that Miami Heat do need another shot creator. They got to understand that Kyle Lowry has not been good this whole series, let alone barely played this much in the playoffs. Then you got Tyler Hero, who's been struggling all series. Hey, Jason Tatum, somebody said Bubble Boy, and hey, I don't know about that, but hey, it's looking just like Bubble Boy right now. But that's just how it is. But they need a second scorer. Miami Heat needs a second scorer, and they desperately need it. Victor Oladipo has been showing some flashes, so let's see how far this can go. But yeah, how do you feel about this though?
So Mavs Suns, it just like you said, it seems like a coach. To me, it seems like a coaching mismatch. I think Jason Kidd outcoached the coach of the year, Monty Williams, in the last series. And I think that helped the Mavericks win. I mean, you also have to make your open shots. They said the Mavericks have created over 20 open threes the first 3 games. They just weren't making their shots. The Warriors kept running that 3-2 zone, box and one. They were not attacking it correctly. I don't know why. And sometimes NBA teams randomly struggle against the zone. I mean, we saw Boston, like you said, Malcolm, in 2020 in the bubble. Like, I don't know what that is. I think it's when teams periodically run a zone. It's hard to attack it. So Steve Kerr has run the 3-2 zone to try to take Luka and the heliocentric offense out of the game. But at the end of the day, if you just overload the side, you can easily beat the zone. The Mavericks haven't done that. Even though they got a win on Tuesday night, they were already down 3-0. Like, the Warriors barely played their starters for real. So I don't think they'll win the next game. Then the Heat Boston, that's just been a pain to watch. Like, I don't know if this was a regular season series game. Like, it's been terrible. Like, we had that, like, once again, we have the Jason Tatum 30-point game, then the Jason Tatum 15-point game. We have the Jaylen Brown, I don't even know games. Like, that's a player that if I had to bet $500 on, I would literally probably cry watching the whole game. Because I have no idea if I'm going to either double or triple my money or am I going to lose it all within the same game. So it's just so much inconsistency there. Marcus Smart has pretty much been himself, and he's getting that was a terrible road ankle. I don't know how he finished the game, but he didn't play the next game. So we're gonna have to see like what his progress is looking like. Then with the Miami Heat, like you already got into, like the offense has been just terrible. Like, I don't know how they won 2 games. To be honest, this team doesn't deserve to win 2 conference finals games. They just don't. I'll be legit shocked if they win another one. The roster is not good. Like, it's just not good anymore. Not with this much injuries. Not with PJ Tucker down and Kyle Lowry down. Jimmy's hurt. If Oladipo is your best scorer off the bench, he was the best scorer last game. Like, that's reaching like worst team in the playoff type roster with these type of injuries. So yeah, I'd be shocked if they win. I'd be shocked if they win a game, especially on the road.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to make sure I get this podcast in before like the game starts. But if it don't, we definitely understand that it's a game 5 tonight, and we understand that this could be really a high indicator of how this series can be able to go. Yes, we've seen what Miami has done as far as, at least getting 2 wins on the board, and that's basically off of Boston's turnovers. Literally, Miami had a game where they had almost 36 points off of Boston turnovers. Like 36 points is a lot. And if you look as far as statistics, they're only averaging like 86 points per 36 in a half court, which is horribly low. And then game 5, they was averaging like a 69 or 68 or something like that.
Yeah.
So to that effect, so it was really bad. And that only thing Boston has to do, they can shoot bad. They shot bad last game. It's not like they were shooting lights out. They was killing guys. They shot bad last game, but their defense was able to maintain because they didn't turn the ball over. And that's the only thing about Boston. Just don't turn the ball over. Everything's going to handle itself. If your offense is not doing bad, at the end of the day, you can fall back on that defense because it's different from playing against, like I said, it's different from playing against guys like Giannis and different playing against guys like Kyrie and KD, And I think that's just the point, to be honest with you. But I think this is going to be a good series. I understand this is like an early in the morning podcast that we're doing. So, we trying to get the jiggles out and stuff like that. But,
yeah,
I just think that's just how it's going to work.
And then with Miami, my takeaway, I really almost did an article about this, was they have so much money in players that don't even play or play well.
Thanks.
Like Duncan Robinson has barely played, like $90 million, 5 years, fully guaranteed contract. What are they supposed to do with that? That looks like a bad deal to me. Kyle Lowry, again, another big contract. What are they gonna do with that? He's already old. He's always been a big guy. Like he's always been a big point guard. That doesn't bode well long term. Don't know what they thought was going on there with Kyle Lowry. Then we have Bam, who's a max player, but has shown he's a max player one time this series, maybe 3 times in the playoffs, period. Like, he hasn't been aggressive all year in the playoffs. I don't know what's going on. He did one game where Rob Williams is out. Like, maybe Rob Williams is punking him, I guess. See, I don't know. Rob Williams is 6'8". Like, I couldn't tell you. Like, it's literally insane. Like, Bam would look possessed. What was that, game 3? Mm-hmm. And then game 1, 2, and 4, it's like, oh, this is the same player. Like, it's insane.
Rob Williams wasn't playing game 3, though.
Yeah, but I at least me, I'm going for broke. I'd rather shoot 20 shots, and I'd rather at least be missing them than just be out there just passing the ball. Like, what are you doing? You're letting Victor Oladipo outshoot you. Love Victor Oladipo. He's from DC. I'm not letting him outshoot me if I'm Bam Adebayo. I'm a max player in the NBA. That can't happen. Not for a team that needs scores. There's no reason for him not to be taking more shots. And I don't blame Eric Spoelstra because I'm pretty sure Eric has been putting him in spots to score. He just has been passing instead of scoring.
Yeah, I think one thing we have to look at last game, Victor Oladipo had 23 points. The starters had 18 as a whole. That doesn't happen, That really doesn't happen at all. We expect better. I expect a better game. This is game 5. I don't expect us to really have a blowout this time. But I think the Celtics need to continue on with that mentality because they are the better team. They have to continue showing it. I think it was a BPI, just a little percentage chance. They said Miami had a 59% chance of winning. So we know they're going to come out with some toughness and a level of bounce back because after they lost. I'm not saying Miami's a well-coached team, but Boston has to clamp on that and be able to take that punch and continue going so they can end that series off. I'm just ready for the finals. Matter of fact, we've been talking about the conference finals and where it goes. As we can see, it's not like exciting that we really expected it to be, but I know this finals is going to be expected, though. And what you think about the finals? What do you think how that's going to go?
Yeah, I just can't see Miami winning another game. So I assume Boston. Again, I don't see the Mavericks winning another game. It's just no way this can keep going this crazy route. So in that series, I'm just excited, I guess, to see the offensive versus defensive matchup. Like I want to see what they're gonna do with Poole. I think he couldn't play much against the Mavericks because they have Luka. He can play more against Boston because they don't have enough people to attack him as much. I think you'll see Poole more in that series versus than you see him with the Mavericks. I saw Gary Payton warming up yesterday. That'd be a great add to their playoff rotation. I think Kuminga's been getting some minutes. That's a great add to the rotation as he can guard Tatum or Brown. Like he said, he has the size to give them problems. So I'm looking to see exactly what type of defensive scheme that the Warriors actually run against the Boston offense. That's the matchup I'm looking to see who wins that matchup, the Boston offense or Warriors defense.
That's going to be a great matchup. And I think that it's great to have guys like Draymond Green, who are very smart players. That's why I thought Kyle Lowry would be perfect in this series, because he's a very smart player. I think when you play against a defense like Boston, you really have to be smart. Trust me, there are cracks in Boston defense. You just have to realize it and find it. I think guys like Draymond Green, a healthy Kyle Lowry could be able to do those type of things. But this is going to be a good series. I love it. Steve Kerr against Ime Udoka, both both like Greg Popovich prophets or whatever you call it, disciples and stuff. That it's going to be a very good series if that happens. I know we've got 2 more games for the Boston series. The Dallas Mavericks series is almost done. So I mean, I'm ready for it to start. I mean, even if Miami gets to play against the Warriors, it might be a good. I think it will be a decent matchup if everybody's healthy. I think that would be a very good matchup. I think Warriors will still come away with it. But what you think about that? What do you think about if like potential Miami or Warriors type of series?
Yeah, I just don't think about it. I thought Miami was frauds entering the playoffs. Now they did get some wins. They made the conference finals at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, they made it. I think they overachieved this year. They were the number 1 seed. But I just felt like that was just coaching and the grind. I didn't feel like the roster was number 1 seed worthy. I thought they were kind of deep coming into this matchup. But when people when people get hurt from a deep roster that doesn't have a star really, well, they have a star, they don't have a superstar, then it just hurts the matchup. Like you said, they have to get healthy. They can play defense. I just think with both matchups, even with Boston, they Boston can't let the Warriors shoot threes. They've been letting teams shoot threes all playoffs. If you let Golden State shoot threes, I don't care if you're up 30 points. We see with the Mavericks, they can still win the game. That's the scary part about a team like Golden State. You can never turn the TV off. There's no moment I'm oh, okay, this game's over. No, they can come back. I don't care if it's the fourth quarter, 12 minutes left, they're down 25 points. I still believe that if Curry's in the game, Klay Thompson's in the game, Andrew Wiggins is in the game, and Draymond, they have a chance to win the game. So I just don't think the Heat would be able to. The Gays don't have enough offensive firepower, and this is a good matchup because this is the time where we said coming to the conference round, we said we wanted to see Tatum and Brown perform on a nightly basis. If they play Golden State, they probably have to. So this is the first time we'll probably maybe see a little bit of offensive pressure that Golden State might put on the team. But next thing you know, Golden State might not play down to their opponent again like they did with Memphis. So we have to wait and see on that one.
All right, last question before we go. I got one more question for you. So let's say this. We already know about Steph Curry. We already know about their legacies and, their greatness and everything like that.
Yeah.
Clearly, another finals appearance will be able to stamp that, even though any naysayers, any doubters, because, you got guys like Steph Curry, you got guys like Draymond, Klay, already have a legacy. Now, let's have a guy like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, then be able to go to the finals. Now, where would you put that as far as their legacy of where they could be able to be ranked? I understand that Jason Tatum is around that top 10 type of guy. And then, you got Jaylen Brown who's hovering, G said top 25, stuff like that. So where would you think their legacy would be ranked if they went to the finals though?
I think for one, I was reading some, if they compared this, if Boston wins to Kawhi Leonard's 2019 Toronto Raptors. Which we knew at the end of the season what Kawhi Leonard could do. He went to a team that fit. He was the star on a great team, or a superstar on a great team. But it was some people like a Skip Bayless who say, he's the best player in the world. But everyone still knew that Durant, Curry, and LeBron were still the best players in the world. But he stamped himself as 100% a top 5 player. So I think that's the ceiling Jason Tatum can reach, is he could be a top 5 player. I think the floor is still a top 10. He can't drop. But by losing, maybe have a little scratch in his resume, how bad he could play. I don't think he'll play that bad. But the worst I think I see is still being top 10. At his ceiling, I think he can reach top 5, and possibly maybe top 4, depending on You know, if you want to put him ahead of some people, especially some of the older players that haven't even played this season as much. So I think that's the ceiling. Like, and if he wins it, he was 24, 23. So he'll be one of the younger superstars to be able to win it, which always helps for like longevity conversations. Like, oh, he won it at 24, 25. This player went until they were 27. You know, that type of stuff. So you know, that always helps with that type of argument too.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna answer this question is this is, you know, I'm trying to, you know, I like to push little narratives and stuff like that. You know, I'm gonna go with the narratives. You know, I gotta add just, you know, I have a lot of narratives. I want to make sure everybody know I have a lot of narratives I just put in the chat. Ron always trying to threaten me, talking about some just saying on you know, on the podcast. You know, I'm not gonna say it on the podcast. You know, I gotta wait till it actually. I need some more support I need some more evidence to support my narratives. But now I think I could be able to push something if Jason Tatum makes it to the finals. Think of this. I think win or lose, well, if he wins, it really solidifies the point. I think that we have to look at him as a top 5 player. I mean, everybody might look at him, why would you say that? Number one, you're talking about a guy who's averaging almost 26 a game on a nightly basis. He's doing that as the rest of the NBA guys are doing, top 5, top 6 guys are doing. This guy has a championship at age 24. Let's just think about that. He 24. He got his first All-NBA already. Younger than Giannis. Giannis had it. Giannis had the same year as Jason Tatum. Yeah, 24. I think the same year. And then if Jason Tatum has a championship at age 24, leading his team to championship, Jason Tatum's already facing a lot of criticism of people saying that he can't go over the hump, but not a lot of people is doing what Jason Tatum has done at age 24. So the fact that we're telling a guy who's been to the conference finals about 3 of the last 4 years and tell him that he can't go over the hump, I mean, if he's getting there at age 24, he has time to be able to get to the hump. So let's say he gets to the finals and he wins the finals. I think that we have to start really treating him as a top 5 player. And yes, I mean, people probably think you're outlet, you're crazy, man. You think about Luka, you know, Dan Lillard, all these other guys like Joel Embiid. Yes, I understand that. But if you got to think about this, Jason Tatum still averaged 26 points a game. He led his team to victory a couple times. He's been to the conference finals. He has playoff success. He has regular season success. We could point to last year. Well, last year in the playoffs, he was by himself and he got the first round. He averaged 30 that series. He put a 50 ball in there, put another 40 ball in the next game, in the 30. And I think that this series, he's went through guys like KD and Kyrie. He went through Giannis Antetokounmpo, the defending champs, albeit doesn't have Chris Middleton. But, you know, and then he went to Miami. He went past it. Potential chance of going past Miami, who was the number 1 seed. And if he beat Golden State, which is a veteran team, I think there's no excuses of what Jason Tatum has not done or anything like that, because he's a defender, he's an offensive player. Everybody talk about he can't make his team better. He's averaging almost six assists a game in the playoffs right now. So he's brought his game up to a different level right now. I understand the shooting be a little wonky, but he plays defense. And I think that's the main point. So I just think that he should be a top 5 player. I know I'm putting my narrative out there because at the end of the day, I'm gonna push it even more and more if the Celtics gets to the playoffs, and y'all gonna see it a lot more. But y'all get it in the first hand.
I think he also needs some moments though. Like he had the moment against the Bucks, the 40-point game 6. That was a moment. And he's had other good games, like 30-point, 10 rebound, high assist games. But he needs it for him to stamp himself literally like from like a public, like most basketball fans would probably have been it. But just from the public, that's kind of how you even get voted into like the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. It's public perception. He's gonna have to have some big moments in the finals, like some 40-point games or some high 30s games, like he's dominating the whole game, where he's probably scoring and strapping a player. Like he's gonna have some moments. If he's just kind of again going along with it, 20-point, 25-point, it's not like it's probably get Finals MVP because again, Jaylen Brown's that get Finals MVP. So it's like he'll get it, but he's gonna have to have some moments. I think though for them to win though, he's gonna have to. Like I just can't see a scenario where he's chilling and they win 4 games against Golden State. Like that's just not, it's not an easy matchup for anyone. Like they're just again even a deeper team. I've seen again Kuminga play last night. He looked pretty good. Like he's hustling. Again, Draymond, Kevon Looney is gonna probably have to play big minutes. Because I mean, Boston goes big. I can't wait. I also want to see that when Draymond goes to the 5 and they go small ball, Wiggins at the 4. It's going to be interesting to see the speed that Boston matches up with in that matchup. So I think Tatum has a chance to have some moments, but we're going to need those moments Show in the finals.
Yeah. Most definitely going to talk more about this when the final comes about, whoever teams get there. But, I just want to have that legacy question in because, I want to make sure that when I bring that narrative in, it's not like, I'm just bringing it out of nowhere. I brought
not
it
too
before
crazy.
It happened. You know what I'm saying? Before it happens. Ron understands I have other narratives to talk about. We'll talk about that next year. We don't have to worry about that now. So don't stay tuned right now for my narratives. Don't really. But now, you have anything else, Ron?
Nah, that's it. I mean, definitely if you listen on the Spotify, Apple, YouTube, make sure you're subscribing, sharing, and liking the video.
Yeah, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Malc and Ron Show. We have a lot of different takes, a lot of good things. Ron talks about his different teams. He don't talk about the Wizards no more, so make sure you tune in later on for that. But on Instagram, Malc does a good job of posting a lot of things he could. So make sure y'all tune in, though. Appreciate y'all the support, though. See y'all.
All right.